All right, Below This News podcast. Welcome to the show. Welcome to another episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. Like the videos, guys. We're going to be bringing you some of the best content overall. I mean, we're going to be digging and diving into stories that are in the mainstream media, some, and then some that are not. We'll be diving into different videos and giving reactions to things that are going on around the world that you may not be privy to, whether it be, interactions with law enforcement, whether it be criminal cases, civil cases that are going on in the world that are not being broadcasted daily by the mainstream media. Just a lot of content, a lot of interesting conversations. We welcome all feedback. We welcome all opinions. This is a channel that has its own opinion, and I'm the host. I'm a very opinionated, I guess, if I'm pronouncing that right, person. But again, just having good dialogue and just bringing good information to the public side. All right. So as of right now, guys, we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into Miss Adriane Love, who you see on the screen. Miss Adriane Love is the Chief Deputy District Attorney in Fulton County. She handles high-profile cases. She handles cases that involve difficult witnesses. For those of you who don't know or who do not know, Adriane Love is the lead prosecutor on the young thug RICO case down in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Fulton County, in the county of Fulton, I should say. So she's a lead prosecutor on that case. If you guys have been following the case, then of course you've seen her presenting her case from the prosecution standpoint. Of course, she has some colleagues up there that are helping present the case, but I believe Miss Love is the lead district attorney on this case. Just watching this case and following it as I have been, I have, I guess I formed an opinion of Miss Love. Now, no doubt that she's an educated woman, as we'll read through here. We'll read through her little description or resume or whatever you may call it here shortly. But definitely a smart woman, definitely passionate about her job. Do I think she's overreaching with this young thug RICO case? Yes. But I think at this point, she's charged with bringing the case. I think Fani Willis, she filed the indictment, and, Fani Willis is her boss. So your boss gives you a job to do, you got to do it. So she's executing it by any means necessary. Definitely some strange tactics and strategies that she's using to get this case proven, but at the end of the day, she's doing her job. If you've been following the case, you see that, the state or the prosecution has brought up several witnesses that have got on the stand and not totally agreed with the case that the prosecution is accusing. They got on the stand, and, some of them didn't remember things. Some of them didn't agree with the prosecution on what the prosecution's point of view was on how things would, or how these crimes were committed. Witnesses got on the stand that didn't seem like they were prosecution witnesses. So in return, what Ms. Love and her team has done is she's had to bring up these witnesses, which my question is, if you have a rock solid case, if you have a case that you stand on, you believe in, you believe that you're charging the right case, you're doing the right thing, why do you have to bring up witnesses that you're going to have to impeach, or you're going to have to bring up other people on the stand to say that, hey, I want you to tell the jury that this witness that I brought up, that I called, is a liar? Like, why did you ever have to bring the liar to the stand? You're not going to tell me it got to the 15th hour and you didn't kind of have an idea that this person was not going to be in line with the case you're accusing. If you guys remember, if you've been following the case, they brought up Tick first. Trontavia Stevens, who's a childhood friend of Young Thug, he got on the stand, didn't align with the prosecution. Then they brought up somebody to prove he was a liar. They put Adrian Bean on the stand. He definitely didn't line up with the prosecution. Then they put somebody on the stand to prove he was lying. They brought up Shay. She didn't align with what the prosecutor was saying. She also said that one of the prosecutors that's on the case sexually harassed her, but then they had to bring up somebody to prove she was lying. So on and so on. Walter Murphy, same thing, had to bring up somebody to prove he was lying. Like 6-7 witnesses that they've called, they've had to bring up police officers that are going to basically say, well, no, you know, the witness that you guys brought up, the state called, they wasn't telling the truth because they told me this at this point in time. So strange tactic for the prosecution if they have a strong case. But nevertheless, man, let's get into Miss Adriane Love. Adriane Love is an attorney with over 16 years of litigation experience, and she is a 15-year veteran prosecutor. Adriane earned her GD at Georgia University Law Center after she graduated from Cum Laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics from Morris Brown College and a Bachelor of Civil Engineering degree from Georgia State Institute of Technology. Kudos to her. All right, Adriane has served both as an associate juvenile court judge and as an assistant public defender, in addition to working as a prosecutor. So she's worked as a juvenile judge. She's actually worked with the public defender's office, and she's done a few. She's pretty accomplished. Adriane has served the state of Georgia as a prosecutor for over 15 years. She joined the Fulton County District Attorney's Office in August of 2011 after serving 6 years as an assistant district attorney in the Middle Judicial Circuit of Georgia. She has specialized in handling the most complicated felony cases and has successfully prosecuted decades-old cold cases. Adriane has served as head of the District Attorney's Office Gang Unit and has served Fulton County as a Chief Senior Assistant District Attorney in the Crimes Against Women and Children Unit, Gang Unit, and Major Case Unit. Adriane has served as lead counsel in scores of complex felony jury trials as well. That's right there. Adriane has served as lead counsel in scores of complex jury felony trials and has been recognized for a litigation prowess with such awards as the Cold Case Award and the Gang Unit Employee of the Year Award. Adriane now serves the state of Georgia as part of District Attorney Fani Willis's executive team. Excuse me for a couple of little hiccups right there, guys. But all in all, accomplished woman, educated woman, has been studied law for years and has risen in her profession over the years. And, again, I think Adriane is she has a job to do. I think overall she's good at her job, but I think, just as all of us, we have a job and that we have to execute, and sometimes it comes with bending the rules. And if you're passionate about your job, if you can, whatever you need to do to get that job done, you're going to do it. And I think that's what position she's in. I think Fani's charged the case, she's brought the indictment, and Ms. Love has a prosecuted. The way she's doing it, is it 100% on the up and up? I don't feel like it is. I watching this case, it just shows you how people who are not on the status of Young Thug, or who don't have the financial means as Young Thug or the notoriety as him, they get railroaded every day by prosecutors like Adriane Love, and detectives and investigators who are all in line with the district attorney's office. There's guys out here that cannot afford lawyers that this woman has probably put in jail, and the guys may have not been guilty, or they may have not been guilty in totality of the crimes that she accused. But if you don't have the ability to fight a woman like Adriane Love and her prosecution team, you'll be doing some jail time at the end of the day. So let's dig more into it, y'all. Blog This News podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay with me. Subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about Miss Adriane Love.
Voters in Lawrence, Twiggs, Johnson, and Trittland counties will elect a district attorney this year. For the first time in more than a decade, the incumbent Craig Frazier has a challenger. Wanye Reese introduces you to Adriane Love.
The current district attorney, Craig Frazier, has been in office for many years, and his challenger, Adriane Love, says that it's time for a new and fresh approach when it comes to the DA's office. Adriane Love is a Soperton native, to be the next district attorney of the Dublin Judicial Circuit.
I have worked as an assistant public defender. I have worked as an associate juvenile court judge. And for the last 15 years, I have been serving Georgia families as an assistant district attorney and now chief senior assistant district attorney.
Love attended Morris Brown and Georgia Tech for her undergrad before going to Georgetown Law. Now Love is ready to take an aggressive stance on gang violence.
That's where Adriane Love tried to put you.
And that's particularly relevant in this particular race because unfortunately we're seeing here in our circuit a growing gang problem. And I have been specially trained to handle those kinds of cases.
Love wants to establish a gang unit. She also plans to tackle violence against women and children.
Those take a special kind of prosecution and a special kind of willingness to actually work hard and talk and work with your victims and your witnesses to successfully bring them to trial.
Love says young people accused of crime should have better options besides getting locked up.
Because as our next district attorney, I intend to implement a school justice program to help get at-risk kids who are on track to going to jail out of the criminal justice system and work with our schools, our churches.
Love says she is willing and ready to serve. Now, I did reach out to District Attorney Craig Frazier multiple times, including messaging him on Facebook and also calling his office. And on Wednesday, I actually went upstairs to his office where they had a sign on the door saying that they were closed due to COVID-19. I do want to let you know, District Attorney Frazier, that the invitation is open to speak with us. Reporting in Dublin, Juanya Reese, 13 WMAZ News.
Hi, my name is Adriane Love, and I'm a proud Soperton native and resident, Morris Brown College, Georgia Tech, and Georgetown Law graduate, and now our candidate for Dublin District Attorney. My Fulton County roots go back 5 generations. Mama, Daddy, and a host of my aunts, uncles, and cousins still live in Soperton, and so do I. My grandfather was John Henry Love Sr., and I grew up working in the tobacco fields on his farm to help buy those things that might have been considered luxuries to a girl like me growing up on a farm in Soperton. On June 9th, I was blessed to make history as the first woman and the first African American to seek and win a party's nomination for district attorney in Lawrence, Johnson, Truitland, or Twiggs County. I am passionate about serving and protecting this community, and with your help, we can start protecting Middle Georgia families and businesses even better and make history on November 3rd by electing one of our own, Adriane Love, for district attorney. Paid for by the committee to elect Adriane Love district attorney.
So Craig Frazier, this is who Miss Love went up against in the Dublin Judicial Circuit district attorney race in Middle Georgia. So listen, man, Craig Frazier declined
Welcome back.
to
We're
debate
going to begin now
Ms.
with
Love.
our 7 p.m. debate between Mr. Craig Frazier and Ms. Adriane Love for Judicial Circuit District Attorney. Mr. Craig Frazier has declined the opportunity to debate tonight with Ms. Adriane Love, so we're going to spend some time getting to know you a little better, Ms. Love, and we're going to start with an opening.
He pulled a Donald Trump on Ms. Love. He said, I ain't even debating you.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for being here, and to TV 35 for holding the only debate in this vital DA's race. I'm disheartened that my opponent has found other priorities that do not lie here with the voters and with us here tonight. My name is Adriane Latrell Love, and I'm a proud Soperton native and resident. I'm a Morris Brown College, Georgia Tech, and Georgetown Law graduate, and currently I'm a Chief Senior Assistant District Attorney. And I'm incredibly proud to be our candidate for District Attorney. I want to start out by saying how much thanks I give to God, who is the head of my life, and to also recognize some of the people in the audience who are here with me tonight in support of me, and then some who are here in support of others. But I'd like to start off by recognizing Mama and Daddy, who are here with me tonight, who have been with me throughout, obviously, my entire life, with special recognition to Mama, who is my campaign church coordinator, and who has been with me every step of the way during this campaign. I'd also like to especially thank my Soperton family who are here with me, Miss Janie Carroll, Jennifer, Kessler, JR, Mandy. If I miss someone, don't let me do so. Jeremy, who is our social media guru. And I'd also like to specially recognize an honorable guest that we have here, City Councilwoman Nikki Stevens and her daughter Cameron, along with three special friends of mine, Ilona, Amanda, and her beautiful daughter, Ava. I'd also be remiss if I did not recognize my fiance, Bertram, as well as all of the fine members of law enforcement that are here tonight.
I feel sorry for her fiance, man. She's a mean lady.
I'm attorney because Middle Georgia families, our Middle Georgia families, deserve better than what we have been getting from our current district attorney. Our crime rate under Craig Frazier's watch has skyrocketed. It is now twice the average of other cities in Georgia. And after nearly 2 decades in public office, Craig Frazier has become entirely disengaged from protecting our families. He has dismissed and lost at trial important cases, a massive number of cases. He is not working with law enforcement, and he is not implementing the best practices seen elsewhere in order to protect our families. As our next district attorney, I will tackle our gang problem head on. I'll create a special division to fight and prosecute crimes against women and children and seniors.
She been
and
passionate.
I'll implement my signature school justice program so
about
that
the
we
gang
can increase
situation.
Our graduation rates, increase our employment rates, and decrease our crime rates. I believe that it's time to start protecting Middle Georgia families, and I've got a solid public plan to do so. And I hope that over the next hour and that over the next 3 weeks, I earn all of your support, your prayers, and your vote for District Attorney of the Dublin Judicial Circuit.
We'll be right back after a short break. Opening statement, and Mr. Frazier, we will start with you.
Gonna take a look at this, who she was running up against, y'all.
Good afternoon. I'm Craig Frazier, District Attorney for the Dublin Judicial Circuit. And I want to thank TV 35 and its personnel for giving us the chance to come out here tonight and speak to the voters directly and state our positions and what our records are. I don't think I need an introduction. I think most of the people in the Dublin Circuit know who I am. But briefly, I started my career as an assistant district attorney in the Dublin Judicial Circuit, where I prosecuted inside the district attorney's office for over 10 years, honing my craft, making sure that I had the skills to proceed forward, and I later was honored by the voters of the Dublin Circuit, and I was elected district attorney, where I have served for the last 4 terms. I'm honored to be your district attorney. I have more experience inside this race for district attorney than any candidate that has declared themselves that they want to be the district attorney. I have put an office together that's very effective and very efficient. I have a personnel inside my office that is second to none inside the circuits of the judicial circuits of the state of Georgia. This is a race that truly experience matters. This is not a job for a beginner. This is a job that has the #1 graduate in my office from Mercer Law School. I have prosecutors, career prosecutors that have 10, 15, 20, 30 years of experience. They're in the courtrooms daily, prosecuting crime, making sure that our communities are safe. I want to ask for your vote. I want to ask for you to ask for a Republican ballot on June the 9th and vote Craig Frazier for district attorney in the Dublin Judicial Circuit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier.
So, y'all, this is the county right here that Miss Love was running up against Mr. Frazier on. It's Dublin, Georgia. This is where she was looking to become the district attorney. Looks like it's right outside of Warner Robins. So I guess they call it Middle Georgia. Atlanta is up here, and this is where she was running for back in 2020. Looks like that she lost that race, which we're gonna bring y'all those results here fairly soon. She lost that race to the incumbent district attorney, Mr. Craig Frazier. And here we are today. She's Assistant Chief District Attorney. I believe that's her title for Fulton County. She's prosecuting a young thug RICO trial. Very passionate about her profession, I would say. Very passionate about gangs, as you can see. Even, you know, back in this town right here, which, again, who knows how much gang activity is going on out here in Dublin. But you could tell in the clip that we showed earlier, she's been passionate about gangs, been passionate about another important element of crime, which is crimes against women and children, which I think is very commendable. But she's definitely had a tough stance on gangs. So I guess it's fitting that she's linked up with Fani Willis right now, and they're looking to clean up the streets of Atlanta for gang activity, which, you know, where it's merited, you know, I'm not gonna dispute that, you know, it's groups of gangs that are just committing a lot of crimes out here. I mean, it is some things that should be addressed for sure. Do I think she's overreaching with the young thug trial? I will second and third that, yes, she is overreaching. Her and Fani Willis is overreaching. But again, this was just a brief, just kind of a breeze over her run back in 2020, which is kind of confusing because, and what we read earlier says she's been with Fulton County since 2011, but it looks like she stepped out to run for district attorney in this county as early as 2020. So not sure how that goes. If you're a district attorney in one city, I guess you could just run for a district attorney in another city. I guess this is like her hometown or her home area here, so she chose to try to make a run for it back in 2020. All right, but ultimately she lost that race. I'm going to bring y'all the results for that, and then we're going to just bring it back to Atlanta on what she has currently going on in Fulton County with this young thug RICO charge. All right. All right, stay tuned. Stay with us, y'all. Blog This News podcast. This is a quick overview of Miss Adriane Love. Okay. All right, so here it is, y'all. These are the results from the run that she made back in 2020 in Dublin, Georgia. Looks like she received 40% of the vote with about 13,462 votes, and incumbent Craig Frazier received 60% with a little bit less than 20,000 votes, 19,837 votes. And the results are in. So she went up against Mr. Frazier. I think he was in office for a couple of decades. She placed her bid to go up against him, promising to take a hard stance on crime and gang activity and crimes against women and children, which the women and children part is important, as well as the gang portion of it. But she did lose this bid. Results were in November. This news report came in November the 3rd, 2020. So this was a few years back, man, but less than 4 years back, where she put this bid in for district attorney in Dublin, Georgia, and she came up short on that. Now, of course, she's prosecuting the young thug RICO trial, which is a very high-profile trial, which is she's getting a lot of, if nothing else, name recognition, whether it be positive or negative. She's making a name for herself in this trial. So again, y'all, you know, give props where props are due. Miss Love, you know, she's an educated woman. She's an accomplished woman. She's been passionate about the things that the line of work that she's in for, you know, what seems to be several years or decades at this point. So again, props to her. And in regards to that, definitely don't agree with her on the young thug prosecution, but at the end of the day, may the best person win. She's having an opportunity to present her case, and we'll see who comes out on top. Hopefully for those young men's sake who's in that courtroom, that she isn't victorious this time around, because I do feel like that a lot of what she's bringing, as far as her prosecution with young thug, are things that really have nothing to do with him directly. And then, you know, even as co-defendants, a lot of them have either served time for these things, been investigated for these things, and you know, they've never been, you know, either they done time for them, they were prosecuted at the point in time that it happened, or their name was brought up in it and they were not prosecuted, but now she's bringing it all and trying to wrap it up in one present with one bow on it and just prosecute them all. So again, we'll get into some other.
Are you cutting this out? Did you have discussions with
Check her out in this clip, y'all.
Madam?
We did have discussions.
When?
Well, this morning.
That's too late. The evidence is excluded. The evidence is excluded.
Watch her reaction to this, y'all.
Because I told you.
It's the real Adriane Love.
No. We're excluding that. And I'm going to exclude the PowerPoint that you all submitted. Well, you're not going to wholesale introduce it.
Now the judge has just said he excluding it. Now look at her. She steps up to the podium. Check her out. It's the real Adriane Love.
Via telephone and called at least 2 members of the defense team and asked them to call me back. And I would like
but you all should not be identifying this stuff the moment of trial while the jury's sitting in a box. This is the last. I am not going to tolerate this any further. If you don't get together with your colleagues and flag issues and resolve them promptly, and if I have to take them up, remember, I can exclude them, we'll work the weekends, or we'll do a combination.
This is her reaction to a judge excluding evidence.
I'm going to exclude.
She's not taking it for an answer.
Those 2 sections.
Your Honor, Mr. Atkins, he confronted this witness with those sections. I last week let them know that we were introducing that.
If the exhibit's not ready and you haven't made no. Well, Mr. Shart's got objections.
Look at her facial expression.
Mr. Sharp can get in and have our evidence excluded every day that he makes an objection
No.
at midnight, and then comes in and says.
Well, then you all should have gotten your stuff together before then. Some of our juries, please. Some of our juries. Have a seat, madam. Have a seat.
Have a seat.
You better exclude that, and next time, make sure you're prepared.
He said, "Have a seat."
Make sure you're prepared next time. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just not. We are starting right now. It's 1:20. So
we have talked to them. We have said we don't agree.
Then file a motion and get it before me, and we'll take it up. Both of you all have equally responsibility to do that. Oh, it's going to be inadmissible right now.
I'm saying, Judge, that you said to file a motion. There's nothing.
I'm not gonna have any more discussion about this, madam. I'm not. I don't. Well, you know what?
She's still talking. She's still talking.
Then that's why we have to.
Punishes the state because the defense.
I'm not punishing anybody, but you.
So yeah, y'all, this is just a still photo of Miss Adriane Love in that exchange that we just watched, to where she's she's basically going chest to chest with the judge. He's made a ruling. He said he's excluded some evidence, and she got up and was very argumentative, very raising her voice. Just really a continuation of what's been going on in this trial. Judge Glanville, all right, who we see right here, spineless in my opinion, spineless judge. Tries to give off the impression that he's controlling his courtroom, but very spineless, borderline bias. Young Thug's attorney Brian Steele has, Brian Steele has actually asked the judge to recuse himself, meaning take himself off the case. He's also requested to have Miss Love taken off the case because of the extreme appearance of bias. Judge yelling at the defense attorneys in front of the jury. Judge constantly overruling defense objections. Judge constantly letting in evidence that is going to be fruitful for appeal. And ultimately, what you got to understand is, when you talk about Miss Love here, all right, Miss Hilton here, the prosecution team here, and this guy here. Ultimately, they're on the same team, man. Judge Glanville, the judge, he works for Fani Willis. The entire prosecution team works for Fani Willis. They know how much of a big deal it is that they have brought this, that the district attorney's office has brought this RICO case. If this case fails, it's just a bad look. But ultimately, these people work together. So, when you see the judge constantly overruling the defense, constantly letting Miss Love, even in this sequence right here, I mean, she's going very much over the line. I mean, borderline contempt of court. I mean, he ruled twice. He's already ruled on it. He's asked her to have a seat, and she got up and stood at the podium to have a back and forth exchange with him. So, you know, again, we talked about Miss Love in her run in 2020, and we've read about her accomplished career and the education that she's received in the past, which all those things are commendable. But in this trial, in this case, it's a huge overreach. She's her, as well as the rest of these prosecutors, are putting on a case that they cannot feel 100% confident in, because they're putting up witnesses that they know the witnesses are not going to get on the stand and say what they want them to say. And the only way that they can try to get this information in is to bring up a police officer or an investigator behind that witness to say, oh yeah, that witness, believe us, don't believe that witness because they're a liar. Who knows who to believe at this point? Like, this case is just a big reasonable doubt wrapped up in a pretty Christmas present at the end of the day. If I'm on this jury, which I believe it's made up of, I think they said 4 black women, 4 black men, 2 white guys, and maybe 2 white females or something like that. But anybody with sense, who, especially if you're in this courtroom and you're looking at the strategy that the district attorney is utilizing to get their point across or to prove their case, it's just full of reasonable doubt. There's no way I can take you guys serious with how y'all present this case. Miss Adriane Love, since this interaction, somebody's had to, you know, she's probably going back watching these clips online. Somebody's had to let her know, like, you coming off bad to America. You coming off as a angry woman who's a prosecutor, who's trying to prosecute, you know, 7, 8 black men. You're coming off argumentative, because since this particular exchange right here, she's been very, very softer in tone. Yes, sir. Speaking very low and calmly. Not, you know, even though that's not who she really is, this is who she really is. She's argumentative. She's you know, she's not going to take no for an answer. Either it's her way or no way. That's what type of person she really is. But I've noticed recently, in the past recent trial days, she's taken an extremely softer tone, which is, I mean, that's eye-raising in itself, because you're altering who you really are for the cameras at this point, which is fake. You're not. Be yourself. That way the jury can look at that and see, you know, is you somebody who they need to kind of rely on for this information. But yeah, this is Miss Adriane Love in total Adriane Love fashion, arguing back and forth with the judge, not taking no for an answer, not just, you know, him making a ruling and her not being satisfied with it, her not letting it go to the point where she's going to get up and contest that judge and contest what he said. You know, just take a look.
Right now.
I'm saying, Judge, that you said to file a motion. There's nothing here.
I'm not gonna have any more discussion about this, madam. I'm not. I don't.
Well, look at her hand. Listen at her yelling.
Well, then that's why we have to.
That is embarrassing. That's totally embarrassing.
Else.
Your ruling's done. You've already ruled.
So this is one of Young Thug's other attorneys, Keith Adams. Before court ends, he wants to address the court about something that Miss Adriane Love did at the bench. She basically lied at the bench, lied directly to the judge. So Keith Adams wants to address this.
About 3 or 4 minutes.
Take a listen, y'all.
Say this because I've been sitting there after our conversations. Let me just preface it by saying,
that's Ms. Love down there.
Whatever, you make a ruling. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. We move on. That's fine. If after your ruling, I've got a case that I want to bring to your attention, I say, Judge, reconsider your ruling based on this case, and you consider it, that's fine. If you don't want to consider it, that's fine too. But what I found objectionable and I want the court to address with the state, is what happened at the bench earlier. There was an objection to the video. You made a ruling. We moved on. The state came back up and made representations to you. And they weren't representations based upon some new case law that they
Check Mix Love out there in the bottom corner. Look at her facial expression.
They were made directly to you, all of us standing there right there at the bench. She said something very, very fact specific in an attempt to get you to readdress the issue again. Madam Prosecutor said, I want you to listen to the 17-second video, because what you had based your ruling on was that the parties in the background couldn't be identified, right? And Madam Prosecutor said to you, and was not accurate, and I'm going to be charitable and say that she was disingenuous. What she said was, these people in the background, the only thing that you hear are people saying, yeah, yeah. That's it. When Mr. Steele corrected her and said that's not true, she said, Mrs. Steele is not accurate. What Mrs. Steele just told you is not true. The only thing you can hear is
look at her eyes blinking.
And actually, when
look at her eyes blinking. Look at her face.
It was in an attempt to act as though she didn't know what your ruling previously was, because their attempt was to go ahead and play the video at that time, despite your previous ruling. My point is this. After you decided to reconsider, you want to hear the video yourself, you had a chance to hear it. You had a chance to hear what we had already heard, what we knew it said, what they knew it said. And there are at least 5 or 6 different things on that video audio that were in contradiction of what Madam Prosecutor said. On God, snitching bitches. I'ma tell a lie on God. That's what I'm talking about. No back and forth with you, bro. Fuck nigga. I'm not just saying that for emphasis. I'm saying that because what she said to you was inaccurate. At some point, Your Honor, I'm asking you to, we've had this conversation
shaking her head
with the court over the course
of
the past
face.
Number of weeks.
3.3.
Yeah, we've had that conversation about it. And when we step up to you and we make a representation, it ought to be candid and it ought to be truthful. And what she said, and look, if she wins the motion, ultimately she wins. But you don't do it by standing there 3 feet from you in your face and lying to the court. And that's what she did.
Yeah, that's what you did.
And she knew what she was doing.
Shaking her head.
Right. You heard Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele said, Your Honor, I am willing to surrender my bar card and have her surrender her bar card if what she is saying is true.
Infamous Adriane Love.
He wasn't wrong.
Look, she can't even wait for him to get through talking. She's trying to stand up right now.
And at some point, you've got to say to the parties, if I'd done that, I would expect you to say, Mr. Adams, don't do that again. Don't step up to me and lie to try and get me to rule or overrule something I've already ruled on. Don't do it again. You ought to say that to them. We're not playing games in this courtroom. These are these people's lives at stake. And like I said, sometimes you win a motion.
These people's lives at stake, Miss Love.
But you don't get the
like you don't really think that these guys are guilty of what you charging them.
Something to them is all I'm requesting.
Can't wait to stand up.
All right, sir. May I speak? You may.
May I speak? Look how soft she is now compared to that last court.
I would not have asked the court to listen to the 17-second video.
But what you did tell me, Miss Love, wasn't the entirety of what was purportedly on States 112.
He's telling you lied.
It did have other statements on it. It's different if you'd have told me, Judge, there are statements on there. Probably need to listen to them for yourself. Not just yeah.
Your Honor, my recollection, and I'm going to speak candidly because it's been
your recollection, you lied.
And Your Honor, that's what I've been pushing for all along. There have been times, as the court is aware, that we have been at the bench and misrepresentations, bald misrepresentations have been made, and the court has seen my reaction to them. I am the one that's constantly saying I have a duty of candor to the court.
All of you do.
We do. And when Mr. Adams just read those series of things that he read, those half of what he said, I didn't catch. The part that I did catch and remember.
You didn't catch, but you watched the video?
Snitching bitches. And I didn't even recall that part was there. But what I did know was that the relevant portion, and the relevant speaker was Mr. Williams. And Your Honor, I'd ask, you know, we can do this in chambers or wherever, but Your Honor, I believe that certain requests and comments to the court have risen to a level of being not true motions or requests based on legal analyses, but more leveled specifically on a personal level, which I've attempted to stay away from. Whatever one's reason for doing what they do, if it's to better advocate for their client, that is fine, they're entitled.
Well, you're not entitled to do everything in whatever position you're from, be it the state or be it the defendants, because you have a overall.
So there she is, guys. The infamous Miss Adriane Love, well-educated, prosecuting district attorney, also has done work in the juvenile court system as a judge, also has been someone who's worked in the public defender's office, and as we know right now is the lead attorney on the Young Thug RICO trial. So again, is Ms. Love probably a good person who ultimately is seeking justice for families, and also trying to make sure that she can rid the streets of violent offenders. Yeah, that's probably her main goal. But in doing so, and in just doing her job, it's going to put her in a position, or any other person in a position, where, you know, they're going to fight hard for what they've been tasked to do. In her case, she's been tasked by Fani Willis to prosecute this case, so she's doing it by any means necessary. Do I think she knows deep down inside? I think, as I stated before, like, you can't watch this, you can't be a juror, you can't even be part of the prosecution and defense not to realize that it's unfair what y'all doing to these young men. I mean, first and foremost, of course, you know, they were involved in some crimes 10+ years ago. And when I speak of those, I mean, they've yet to connect any crime directly to Young Thug. And that's what this case is all about. It's all about Young Thug, because the rest of these guys have either served time, been given deals for these cases, or even if their name came up in these cases, they never have been prosecuted in 10 years. So with that being said, that means the evidence wasn't there, or that means that you guys felt necessary to say, well, hey, let me give you this deal, and let's just put this case behind us. That's how y'all felt at the point in time when it was happening. But now, since Young Thug has grown into an international superstar, a multi-million-dollar individual, as far as finances go, you want to attach him to it and get your big case closed on a rapper or someone who y'all don't feel should even be in a position or had a status or had a power that he has, and trying to do so, y'all going about it wrong. I mean, Miss Love, you cannot listen to this evidence and really believe that these guys who was getting caught up in these crimes were actually doing these for the benefit of Young Thug or the benefit of YSL or whatever it may be. You cannot believe that they were kicking him back money. You cannot believe that they were taking orders from him. Listen, it was a point in Young Thug's career when everybody was calling him gay. You know, he wearing skinny jeans, he's wearing dresses, he's just not your average like hardcore rapper. And you telling me even through those times, he was the leader of this treacherous, violent gang? Even through those times, these guys were reporting to him or doing things at his order? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not only that, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, by the time when these things were going on, Young Thug was in a position to be making money every day of the week. I mean, at the lowest level, with the songs he had out, Stoner, Danny Glover, with the attention that he was bringing to himself, you know, Lifestyle, all these songs, like these songs will get you booked in any club definitely in your area. But you know, he could get booked anywhere, even if it was for $5,000 each show, which it probably was more. But even if it was $10,000 a appearance, and he can do 4 or 5 of them a week, like he was in a position to be making $25,000 to $50,000 a week at his lowest level of fame. And when you're able to make that type of money legitimately, it kind of you have no reason to be involved in petty crimes and petty things that's going to make a little bit of money, $1,000 here, something like that. So, Miss Love, again, I know you're doing your job, but your boss, Fani Willis, she reached with this one. She got you wrapped up in it. You're coming across looking very angry and just very not professional in these court proceedings. And I would just request that you prosecute the case the right way, and don't lock some people up, or especially don't lock Young Thug up for something that you know he's not directly tied to. Because I think you know this at this point. I think you know he's not directly tied to this real gang, criminal, street, violent, murderous activity that you bringing and that you're accusing of. So again, y'all, this is Miss Adriane Love. Just as I'm quite sure she got many more accomplishments in life. I'm sure she's tried numerous cases that the defendants deserve to be prosecuted on. I'm quite sure, just as she stated in the videos, she loves her family. She wants to do the right thing, but this is not the right thing you're doing. And that's what this video is for. Just, I hope you look at this and you understand this is just not, it's not just a hit at your character, because it's proven that you have a well-distinguished career that you've worked hard for. But you're doing the wrong thing now. You and the rest of your team are doing the wrong thing now. Y'all prosecuting some guys for the wrong reasons. And I believe the reasons is just, prosecutors and police officers in different cities and states, when you got that high profile name who still has some type of attachment to the streets in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just, hanging around these guys when they come back in town, then that's the big fish, and that's what y'all do. Y'all go after the big fish, the big name, close a big case, and ultimately it helps y'all out business-wise. It helps y'all out in furthering your careers politically, and it's not more about protecting the streets from criminals. Putting a RICO charge on these guys is not the right place to put your resources at. This is going to be something that go on for a year plus, millions of dollars probably invested in it, and I really don't think it's going to result in a conviction. And even if it was to result in a conviction, I think that the defense has a lot of things to come back on appeal. And not only that, I mean, just say if Young Thug gets sentenced for 10 years, at that point he'll probably been in jail already for 3 years. So just say if you get a 10-year sentence and he served 3 already, and then out of that 10-year sentence, state-wise, he only has to serve, 1/4 of that. Like, he still will probably be released. It's just y'all gonna have a conviction on him. Y'all gonna have him on some type of probation, to where it's, that's gonna be some tight nooses around a noose around his neck, to where he really can't move and operate like a rapper per se. But worst case scenario, I don't think he's gonna go to jail for just multiple years. Best case scenario is the jury find him not guilty, because they seeing what we seeing. It's too much reasonable doubt. It's too much things that we can't rely on from the state, and it's just not a case that they should be able to convict on. All right, Blog This News podcast, y'all. This has been a brief summary of Miss Adriane Love. No disrespect to Miss Love. I don't particularly like what you got going on right now, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Like the videos. Like I say, we'll be getting better and better with the content. We'll be bringing you more interesting stories. It's not going to be strictly, about Young Thug trial. I know a lot of YouTubers right now are making they're already, they're making a name for themselves off of this trial alone, which I can't knock that. But we're going to try to be all over the place and try to bring you different aspects of media and content. and we'll get better and better as time goes on, guys. All right, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this episode. See you next time.
Let's go. Tell them boys, look, every day's a work day. I don't take a day off. I'm fucked up, but it ain't a day that I'ma go without. Got the kids in the burbs, they ain't about that trap life. Got my money from the curb, they ain't living my life. In and out the alley, mama belly making ends meet. All we talk about is money when me and my friends meet. Yeah, big heat for the small beef. Little altercation got the boy a large reef. Yeah, caught a brick under the car seat. How I used to ride and I dare nigga cross me. Niggas sell they soul for they wrist to look frosty. They tellin' so they can stay out and keep flossing. And most of these rappers fake, they ain't really did that. Bitches